Yo, what up, YouTube? It's your boy Zai. You already know what time it is, man. But every time, not even every time, but every once in a while, I gotta come on here and retract certain things that I say. And for the most part, don't take this video as too negative. It's just one of those things that it just never fails to amaze me, especially with everything that's going on in social media, as far as like people being accused of telling, people being involved in RICO cases, people just doing things as a gangster you really shouldn't do. But I'm not here to get on social media and criticize that, because everybody's entitled to do and act according to whatever way they've been taught. Now, understand this when I say that there's consequences to your action always. Whether you're facing ridicule, whether you're facing physical contact with somebody, with fisticuffs, maybe things escalate to something a lot different, or if you're in jail getting poked up with something, everybody's entitled to do what they want in life. You get a certain amount of minutes, hours, and days in a year. So you got to choose the right way. And that doesn't mean going on the straight and narrow is the right way, because it might not be the right way for you. And I'm not here to talk about that, because then I would be somewhat of a hypocrite. I would be one of these OGs that are supposedly on the internet changing their self all the way around, supposedly, but yet still talking about gang stuff, still subtly promoting gangbanging, subtly doing a lot of things that they proclaim to be dissing themselves from. And I tell you what's funny is because the same people that's doing that, you still see them dressing gangster. You still see them talking about their neighborhood as if it's the best thing since sliced cheese. You got people just suddenly promoting gangbanging. They put this facade before you like, oh, you know what, I'm positive, you know, as an adult I've got to this age and I no longer do this, but yet they're still promoting their neighborhood. So they're still telling people what they shouldn't do, but at the same time congratulating dudes that have did it. And that's one of the reasons why a lot of youngsters don't respect us in the first place. Like, I can go to my hood and my younger homies show respect, not because I'm aggressive, not because I feel like I'm better than they, just respected the fact that I talked it, I walked it, and I did what I did, and I got out in good standings. Now, I'm not going to go into the whole, bad blood and bad paperwork and all that, because everybody knows what that's about. You know what I mean? My whole thing is just to start exposing these cats, and not even to expose them, just to put dudes on notice. Like, if you're gonna spread the propaganda of turning a new leaf and act as if you're beyond all the gang stuff, then there's no reason why you should still be dressing it. There's no reason why you should still be heading to your neighborhood. You're not helping them to change anything. You're not really even helping them to grow. Sending money to your homeboys every once in a while, that's cool. I send money to my homeboy in a whole nother country and a few other cats, but I don't need to put it out there. I mean, outside of right now, but I don't really need to put it out there because it has nothing to do with social media. The thing that I find the most contradictive about what these cats be stating is because they excuse me, that's the ice maker, but they make it seem as if they've turned a new leaf, but in fact they haven't. They're still promoting the same bull. Like, I'm gonna get on here and I'm gonna tell you like this, and it's nothing about being positive or negative. I'm just telling you the real. If you choose to go down the rabbit hole as far as like continuously following the gangbang way of life, then you understand that there's consequence to your action. You're either gonna end up in jail for the rest of your life, you're either gonna get away with it and live a good life from there on out, or become a drug addict and be strung out and you end up ODing from an overdose anyway. I mean, there's a lot of things that can transpire, but for the most part, it's nothing good unless you just change, period. Now, you got guys like I know that they're not involved in it at all. They're still righteous dudes, but they're not involved in it, dude. They're so focused on their family. They're not on social media trying to act as if they're that guy and that they're this far removed from the norm. Because to be honest, a lot of cats that's out here on the internet pushing that, oh, I've did this, I've did that, have never did it. Like, and you can tell, like, they've never been involved in a business in that way. Maybe a couple of fights, maybe a couple of misfires at a car, but they weren't really in the trenches with it. Like the dudes that are really in the trenches ain't really on social media. I mean, they may rap about it, but for the most part, they're really out there in the trenches, and you see them. They're the fools that be out there, not all super clean. I mean, you have them, but for the most part, them fools out there like vagabonds. They're grinding. They're trying to get that money. They really in the neighborhood every day. Like those type of cats, it's not even about respect. I give them theirs because they're true to what they're representing. But for dudes to come on here and be acting as if certain dudes are still good, like I'm never thinking if you want to promote certain things, just be outright about it. If you want to promote gangbanging, be outright about it. If you want to continue promoting the destruction of your race or your homies or your hood or anybody that may be involved in life, you're entitled to do that. Nobody really tripping off that because they pretty much have a picture painted of us anyway. But if you're one of those that pretend to be beyond all the gangbanging and stuff of that nature and anything that has to do with any criminal activity outside of reporting on it, you know what I mean, which there's certain things you should just keep from saying, but if you're gonna go that route, then remove yourself from the situation, period. Still dressing a certain way, still acting as if you're that man, but you're also saying, well, I'm not part of that, and you're it's a direct contradiction when you're on social media talking about that people should grow up and people should be removed from the situation and people shouldn't, and then, oh yeah, I'm against snitches. Hold on, you're not involved in that life no more. Why are you still talking about it? Regardless. And then for a person to say, okay, and this is, I'm trying to pull it together, but it's so much stuff going on social media right now. It's funny. You got cats that say, oh, snitching is wrong, and back in the days, the homies would have poked you up, or yeah, cuz would have poked you, or blood would have poked you up, or anything, whatever background you claim would have poked you, or they would have got you in there. Okay, we already know that, and most people that know about social media know about that because people talk a whole hell of a lot. Like I can point out channels that's all they do is talk, and some of it ain't even information that's privy to the public. It's just something that's been regurgitated through people they've known. Like and what's funny is because if it's not your business, why, you know what I mean? Like if it doesn't, why would you incriminate anybody else? If and it goes to show you, it's like, oh well, allegedly this and this happened. Well, hold on, that's not even in social media yet. It hasn't been put on the media. Like a respective whatever told me from here and there. Like, come on, dude. Like it's crazy, dude. Like I have respect for cats, but I had to pull it back because I'm like, the stuff that they're doing right now is straight. It's ludicrous because the same stuff that they try to distance themselves from and say that's wrong, they're the ones doing it right now. Like, I'm gonna tell you straight out, if you've ever got on social media and talked about your homies in a way to where you've incriminated not only yourself but them as well, and then cases come because of that, why am I gonna say free you? Why am I even gonna contribute to anything that you got going on? You are no good regardless. If you get on social media, if I got on social media right now and talked about how that I did with the homie that had nothing to do with talking on the mic, but it came out of my mouth, as in hey, you know what, this and this the homie did this and that, like I did this, like you really broke down the whole case in just a few words and just kept readily spewing the same bull. So you're just passing information on to everybody that's watching, knowing that there's cops watching everything, the feds watch everything. They're watching this because they know fools are just dumb enough to really put all their information out there and all the stupid stuff that they did. And there's a few individuals that I ain't even got to say their name, but that's all they did on social media, day after day, content after content, the same thing. And then you had cats that report on it, which was nothing. There's nothing bad about that, but you cannot condemn people for something that they did and turn around and support them in the same way. Like, there's no way, if you're telling and you're not a civilian, that I have anything to do with you. I'm not gonna give you no money. I'm not gonna promote you in any way. I really don't even want to talk about you too much. That's why you see on this video, I'm not mentioning names of the people that had anything to do with this, because everybody knows who I'm talking about. But I'm not gonna continue promoting you because it's just, you told, and that's what it is. And that's why I tell you, dude, like, don't be just listening to these dudes. That's why I say, like, a lot of the youngsters don't respect their older homies, because they're a contradiction, dude. They tell you don't snitch, but yet they still hanging around with the same dudes. They still helping out the same dudes. They're still promoting the same dudes. Oh, well, regardless of whether fools are innocent of anything, the fact that they got their homeboys indicted and a case brought up, period, they're no good to me. Like, you involved your homie, and that's why when people be like, oh yeah, you know, Southerners, they're allowed to tell on every race. Like, look at it. It's a prime example. Tell me, look at social media right now. It is no disrespect to none of my Damos or Keyways that I know that really with the function. Like I told you, Nate Dogg 916, been there, done that, and living a good life, hustling, handling his business in the right way. That's what I'm talking about. And there's other respectable cats that really ain't too much out there, but they're out there. But they're handling it the right way, dude. They're not telling their homeboys, hey, you know, snitches gotta go, but then turn around and supporting. Like, that's just crazy, dude. And that's why I say, dude, that's why a lot of youngsters don't want to follow. They don't want to follow, so they want to listen to you. Dudes be dope fiends and all types of stuff, but fools still like, oh, you know, like, yeah, go ahead, do this, holler, I need this money. Like, they're starting to see, dog. And that's why, like in Chicago, that's why they don't be following. Maybe when they go to prison, you know, because it's, you know. But as far as on the street, that's why they don't follow. They don't follow pecking orders like that, because a lot of their homies is vultures. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they're not really there to help them out in no way. And that's why I say, dude, if you're on social media and you're supposed to be dissing yourself from being a gangster, then stay away from gangster topics and stay away from being, you know, promoting it and other subtleties. You know what I mean? Like, if you're supposed to be against snitching, don't support snitches. Don't even entertain them. They don't deserve nothing from us. Like, you're not a civilian, you know what I mean, that somebody's taking advantage of. Because if you're a civilian, you got all right to tell. I would never get on. Of course, if it was a case that I was fighting, I wouldn't want you to tell on me. But it's a part of the game. You're a civilian. I don't got no right to you know, selfishly, yeah, but I don't have no right to try to silence you because you're a civilian. You have nothing to do with this stupid life. You know what I'm saying? But for the ones that supposedly been a part of this life, know what's up, got homies that been busted for years, it's only logic that you would refrain from wanting to help anybody out that have anything to do with any factor. You ain't gotta be found guilty in the court of law when you're all on social media talking about it. And these are real cases. Everything that you said has been documented. Real cases. This is what you're being prosecuted for. Real cases. You are in the wrong. You are a tattletale, dog. You are a snitch. Whatever. It's just what it is. And that's why I tell you, dude, I don't get on here and I don't try to not promote anything. I just do me, dog. Like, I tell fools exactly what it is. You're gonna end up in a bad situation. You keep going this route, but I'm not here to deter them. I'm just gonna tell them what it is because I've been there and done that. But a lot of these cats, they're trying to entertain multiple audiences, or they're trying to make themselves look good and by societal standards, but at the same time they still want to seem good in the hood because they still propagate that bull. And then you got the other fools that they're wishy-washy, like even in the gang life. Like, look, dude, you're supporting dudes that ain't no good, plain and simple. Like, refrain from it. Like, if you're really about that life, then don't support them. Don't got nothing to do with them outside of content. Like, dudes, it's content. They became content as soon as they start doing what they do. Whatever. If you want to go and spew absolutely everything that come out their mouth, go ahead. You got to do phone calls and videos and all types of stuff. That's content. But don't act as if you're beyond it and then turn around and do the exact thing that you've been warding against, that you are supposedly against, the same thing that you're accusing the homies. But you don't see no Southerner on social media outside of dropouts that are out here talking about active murders or anything. You ain't gonna see it, dude. So that's why I be telling fools, like, all this propaganda when it comes to all the homies are allowed to do this. Do you see any of them on social media talking about any murders? Like, you don't see it, dude. You don't see it. Active murder cases that have to do with, even if it involves him, but it involves somebody else. You may have fools that talk about their own cases, what they got busted for, but they're not actively putting out information that their homies has something to do with this killing, or they're dealing with the big homies, or they're doing this. No, if you catch them, you catch them. That's how it is. But they're not actively putting this information out. Who do you see doing it? Like, and then who you see condoning it, and who ain't really tripping off of it? Who, he made a mistake. No, he ran his mouth. He was telling straight out. I don't care which way you cut it. If you get on social media and talk about anything that has to do with crimes, and it hasn't either been solved, or you are the reason why it's actually made into a case, dude, I'm gonna tell you straight out, and it just goes without saying, if you were running with the South and you had that, even if it's a mistake, talking on the phone, you are gone. That's all I'm gonna say with that, dog. Without even exposing, that's just straight out, dude. You know you are gone, dude. You either gonna take what you got coming and keep take, or go ahead and walk that other yard. Like, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. That's why I'll be like, when food be trying to put that on the homies, dude, look, you got dudes actively right now that are known snitches on the street. You know what I'm saying?